This is one of ICT's favorite setups and it has the highest win rate by far. So if you're someone who struggles with ICT concepts, this is the video for you. All you need is one time frame, there's no daily bias, and I'm going to share with you a secret time that no one else is sharing when this strategy works best. I've not taught this strategy before, but in this video I'm going to show you completely everything you need to know step by step to give you the highest probability trades. So let's get started. So let's break down the strategy. What concepts are we going to be using mainly? We're going to be using the breaker block and the fair value gap. I've already done a video on the fair value gap, so if you haven't already, go and watch that. The link to that will be in the description. I'm also going to do a video strictly on the breaker block by itself, but if you don't know what a breaker block is, I'm going to break it down in a second. First of all, what pairs does it work best on? For indices, S&P 500 and NAS 100, and for forex pairs, Euro USD and GBP USD. Now, before I get into the rules for this actual setup, let's break down what a breaker block is. So as you can see, price sweeps this liquidity, sweeps the buy stops from this high. So this is a liquidity sweep, right? And then you might know this as the market structure shift low. But next to this market structure shift low, what you will see is bullish order block, right? And what a breaker block is a failed order block. So at this point, this will look like a bullish order block to you. What a breaker block is a failed order block. So price breaks the structure here, it breaks this block right here, and then it turns it into a breaker. So from an order block, it's going to a breaker block right now. When price closes below this order block right here, it turns into a breaker block. So now all we wait for is a retrace to this breaker block right here, and then we look for shorts in the opposite direction and vice versa for a bullish breaker block. So this example is a bearish breaker block. And I'm going to do a full video going in depth on the breaker block, but for now all you need to know is what a valid breaker block is. So let's get into the strategy and the rules for the strategy alone. So from 9:30 to 9:50 a.m. New York time, we're not going to be entering trades. Why? Because at this time, what price tends to do is sweep liquidity or rebalance into inefficiencies in the market. So what will happen to a lot of you if you're trading in this time is retailers will be stopped out, SMC and ICT traders will most likely be stopped out at that time if they're not looking for the right setup, because price is hunting for liquidity or rebalancing into inefficiencies in price at that time. So we're not going to be looking for entries within that time window right there. Then we're going to wait for an FVG after this time window. We're going to wait for that FVG to line up with a breaker block. But first, that breaker block has to form for the FVG to be lined up with it. So let's get into the diagram right here. So let's imagine that this red line over here is 9:30 a.m. and this line is 9:50 a.m. So we're not trading within this zone right here, within this time window. We're not going to be trading. So as you can see, price takes the buy side liquidity from this high. So like we said, price sweeps liquidity, it hunts for liquidity within this time window. So price has successfully swept that buy side liquidity, and now it's going to unlock the low. So now it's done a market structure shift to the downside and price has closed below the order block, right? As you can see, price broke the order block right here, and now it's a valid breaker block, which is why I mentioned it's a breaker block right here after price closes below. As price closes below, we want to see an FVG form in line with this breaker block, right? This is a very, very high probability trade, and this is one of ICT's favorite setups. Then simply we're going to look for our entry within this breaker block. So you could look for your entry either here or within this FVG. I'm going to be showing you live market examples to break down what the real market looks like. You could place your stop loss above the breaker block. However, you want to place your stop loss in a place where the trade will be invalidated, right, for this strategy. And then you target the opposing liquidity, opposing arrays. But let's get into the live market examples. Before we get into the live market example, we smashed another take profit in the signals room. The value in the signals room is absolutely crazy. It's on a special offer right now for $30 a month. I'm going to be increasing the price to $100 a month this week. So if you don't get in now, you'll have to pay $100 a month. But if you do get in now for $30 a month for the special offer price, you won't have to pay $100 a month. If you want to pass your funded challenge 100% guaranteed, or you don't pay a single penny, our automated trading bot will pass the funded challenge for you like it has done for hundreds of other clients and got them funded 6 figures in real trading capital. If you're trading your own funded challenge, you are gambling your account. There's a chance you'll lose it. However, with us, it's a guaranteed pass. We will pass the funded challenge for you 100% guaranteed, or you don't pay us a single penny. We will refund you all of the money that you paid us and what you paid for the challenge. It's an absolute zero risk investment. There's absolutely no excuse for you guys to not be funded at least 6 figures in trading capital right now. So make sure you get funded whilst you still can. The link to this will be in the description below, but make sure it's this link that you're using. There's a lot of people that are pretending to be us, so make sure it's this link specifically, and the link to this will be in the description below. So make sure you join up and get funded 100% guaranteed. We got so much proof, we got so many amazing reviews, there's so many testimonials, and I don't know what you're waiting for, guys. You will also be added to the signals room for free for 1 month after we pass the funded challenge for you to learn how to take trades on your funded account and make real live profits. So guys, if you haven't already, go join up. It's a guaranteed pass, and the signals room is on offer for $30 a month right now. So go and join up as you still can, and there's a guaranteed funded account waiting for you right here to take action. We got the most proof, most testimonials on this channel right here, so go and join up. It's this link. The link to this will be in the description below, so go and join up and get yourselves funded, guys. It's a guaranteed pass. So let's get into the first example, and as you can see right here, we are at 950, so I've marked out 930 to 950 with this box right here, as you can see, right? So we're on the 5-minute time frame, no daily bias is required. All we're doing is on one time frame, we're waiting for that one setup to occur. Now, what's price done within this time? As you can see, it swept liquidity from this high right here, it swept this main high right here, and we had a clear run up, right? So what is this telling us? We have a down candle right here. We have an order block right here that price is respecting right now. But what can we expect? This order block to be broken. This can turn into a breaker block now. Why? Because price has just swept liquidity in that time window where we knew price was going to sweep liquidity or rebalance. As you can see, swept liquidity, rebalancing, and now we're expecting a break, a market structure shift, a close below this breaker block to then look for our entries within this breaker block after this time window where a lot of people will be faked out. So we just let price play out. And as you can see, price breaks the structure and closes below that breaker block. Now, the next question is, remember, we're following the rules. Is there a fair value gap? As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3 candles making an FVG right here. So we've got a breaker block and we've got an FVG. And remember, the FVGs don't have to be perfectly within the breaker block, but this is showing us that this is displacement right here and that this is a high probability setup. So now we can expect price to retrace into this area, fill in the fair value gap, tap into the breaker block, and we've also got an order block here, and then go down in the opposite direction. So where do we put our entries? You can just put your entry right here, which lines up with the 50% of the fair value gap. You can also put it at the bodies if you want a tighter entry. However, that would be a lot riskier because you might not get entered into the trade might actually swerve you, which you don't want. Then you want to put your stop loss either above the breaker block high or above a comfortable high where the trade will be invalidated. But for this example, let's just put it above this high right here, the high of the first FVG, the extreme of the FVG, right? And then where do you target? You just target opposing liquidity. You can target the low hanging fruit. That's completely up to you, but let's get into the entry first and let's see how price tags us in. So as you can see, price has made liquidity right here. It's made an old low right here. So this is going to be our liquidity level, and price perfectly taps us in right here, as you can see, and let's see what price does now. As you can see, it almost fills in the breaker block fully, and then it absolutely tanks in the opposite direction. And if you did have your daily bias overall, you could have caught a much higher risk to reward trade and targeted further levels of liquidity. But for now, we're just going to be targeting the next main draw on liquidity, the low hanging fruit, right? So this area right here, and that's solid profits for that day. You can look for one trade a day with this system if the setup shows, and then stick to this one strategy alone. So let's get into the second example. So as you can see, we're at 950 right now. And what did price do within this window again? It does the same thing again and again within this time window. As you can see, it swept liquidity right here. So it swept liquidity within that time window. Let's identify which one is our order block right now. But first, which one's our market structure shift high? And now you can see this is a market structure shift high, but has price swept liquidity after this? Now, in the breaker blocks video that I'm going to do very soon, I will get into the specifics of what a breaker block looks like. But for this example, we're just going to stick to the basic rules. So we're just waiting for price. And as you can see, it makes a big impulse to the upside. It breaks structure. Now, before this liquidity was swept, this was the main high, right? So this could be your market structure shift. Whereas the last up candle, the last order block before the down move over here, this one right here. So this breaker block right here. And in this scenario, I'd mark out both the bodies, so the low and high of the bodies, because there's two blocks put together. You can put the wicks, but in this scenario, I would put the bodies, right? Some people would say that this is the breaker block right here, this green candle right here. So I want you in the comment section to tell me what candle this is called. Now, if you study ICT concepts, you'll know the name of this, but we're going to stick to this valid breaker block, the more safer block in this example. So price is close above, but the question, is there a fair value gap in line with this breaker block? As you can see, price makes 1, 2, 3 candles. So now we have a valid FVG in line with this breaker block as well, right? So it's not perfectly inside the breaker block, but it is outside, and it shows that there is a displacement with this market structure shift. We know that smart money is involved in this move. So we could place our entries at the high of the body of this breaker block right here. Place our stop loss either below the full breaker block, or you could put it below the FVG low right here. Now, let's see what price does, and we want to target opposing liquidity. So straight away, we can see we have this drawn liquidity right here. We have buy side liquidity resting above this high right here. Now we also have relatively equal highs right here. There's a whole liquidity pool right here. And we also have, after this liquidity pool, we have a bearish PD array. We have a bearish premium array, right? This order block right here. So your max exit could be at this order block right here. Your main TP could be there. You could take partials or manage the trade at these other TP levels right here, right? Let price tap into it, and as you can see, with literally the next candle after the fair value gap forms, price perfectly wicks into our area right there, moves in the opposite direction, smashes our TP. So this model is a very, very high win rate strategy. It's very high probability. As you can see, it works almost every single time. When this strategy shows with all the confluences, it's very rare to find a trade that doesn't go in your direction, that hits your stop loss. But this strategy alone, if you stick to this one strategy alone, you will become a profitable trader, guaranteed, because it's a very high win rate, very high probability. You're waiting for a rule-based idea to look for that time-based model. This is one of ICT's favorite setups, and ICT himself goes on about this being absolutely amazing. So stay tuned for the series of the variations of this strategy, and remember, if you want to get funded 100% guaranteed, your aim should be to secure as much funding as possible. So join this group right here. The link to this will be in the description below. There's a lot of people pretending to be us, so make sure it's this link that you're using specifically. Remember, with us, it's a guaranteed pass. If you fail the challenge for whatever reason, you get all your money back 100% guaranteed and what you paid for the challenge. So it's a complete zero risk investment, and our clients are making crazy profits after we pass the challenge for them and get them on the funded stage. So if you want to get these kinds of profits and start chasing them 5-figure months, then 10k months, get funded with us guaranteed. Your aim should be to secure as much funding as possible, and with us you can do exactly that. And if you want the signals room by itself, it's $30 a month right now. It's on a special offer. It'll be increasing to $100 a month by the end of this week. So if you haven't already, go and join up. And remember guys, we're looking for a rule-based idea to look for a time-based model. So stick to these rules, and I'm also working on something very special for you guys, whether you're beginners or you're already advanced but struggling to find profitability. I'm working on something very, very special for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned for updates. Follow all my socials in the description below, and make sure you join the groups in the description below to get funded 100% guaranteed, and join the signals room right now for $30 a month. That's all for today's video guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.